Hey, welcome to Sipper Social Club. I'm Jeremy. Today, I'm going to walk you guys through how to barrel finish your own whiskey. The process is pretty simple. You get a barrel, you grab a wine. In this case, I'm using Taylor Fladgate Port. You let that sit in the barrel for about 6 to 8 weeks. You dump it out, then you've got your nice seasoned barrel ready to go. You find a Scotch. In this case, I'm using Lagavulin 8-year-old. This will be the 5th time I've gone through this finishing process. The first 4 times, the Scotches that I chose was Lafroig 10, Lecheg 10, Ardbeg 10, and Balvenie 12-year-old, the single barrel. Now, the thing that all those whiskeys have in common is they're all ex-bourbon matured only whiskeys. I feel like with ex-bourbon, you kind of have like a clean kind of canvas that will pick up the port a lot better than, let's say, if you used like a Glendronach or something like that, something like it's already a heavy sherried whiskey or something that's already been finished and then like a wine barrel. So I've kind of assembled everything you'll need here. First and foremost, obviously the barrel. This is a 1-liter barrel. I got it from Oak Barrels Limited. They're out of Texas. I will link to their website down below. They ship internationally. $30 US for the barrel. One of the better prices that I've seen. A few other things you'll need. Here is a 1-gallon jug. This is essentially just used for the vatting process. With a 1-liter barrel, fully seasoned, in my experience, I could get 4 bottles of Scotch finished in this barrel. So after the first bottle is poured in, usually it takes about 3 to 4 days to pick up a nice finish. Then I pour it into here. Next bottle comes in. The second fill usually takes a little bit longer, maybe 5 to 6 days. After that, pour it in here, and you can do that up to 4 times in my experience, a little bit longer each time, and then marry it all together, and then bottle it. So what you'll need is a couple bottles. Here's a nice little like half bottle that you can get. So like a couple of these, or just any whiskey bottle that you have lying around the house will do. Another thing you'll need is just a simple little funnel and a strainer. This is when you're ready to pour the whiskey from the barrel into the jug. It just kind of catches all the little extra bits of oak or whatever settlement that's left in the barrel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and do the entire process. So it's going to be a couple videos over about a 2-month span. So I'm going to go through step by step, starting with step 1 coming up. So the first step is to prep the barrel. When these barrels come, they have fresh drill holes in them. So there's still like a lot of kind of oak and like wood kind of settlements that are in here. So you kind of want to like shake all that out as best you can. And then what you want to do is you want to run water through here to flush all that out. So that's the first step. I'm going to go do that under the sink and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've thoroughly rinsed out the barrel. A lot of settlement and kind of wood bits did come out of there. So the next step is just to install the spout. So what you want to do is just gently kind of twist it in to get it about straight up and down, and then press it in as hard as you can. If you have like a little soft mallet, you can give it just a couple taps, but usually it's going to stick nice and hard if you just press on it pretty well. There we go. So the next step is to fill this barrel with water. What that water is going to do is it's going to expand the wood and give a nice tight seal around the rings. Very important step. So you fill it with water and then look for leaks. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill this with water. I'm going to come back. I'm going to put a piece of paper towel down underneath it to see where it could be potentially leaking from. So I'll do that right now. Okay, so I filled this with really hot water from the tap. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of dab off the water around the outsides, around the bottom, just so I can see if there is a leak, kind of where exactly it's coming from. So I've taken all that off. I'm going to put down a piece of paper towel and then put the barrel back on top. You put the bung hole into the hole, the bung plug back into the hole, and there you go. So this needs to sit now. I can already see from the back side, I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up on the camera, there is some water kind of pooling right here. That's completely normal. This process sometimes takes a few hours. Sometimes it can take up to 2 days. So what you want to do is kind of just monitor it, let it sit. I'm going to let this sit for probably about 2 hours, kind of see if there's any water leaking out. After those 2 hours are done, if I don't see any kind of water coming out, maybe I'll just dump the water out. I'll put the water back in, let that sit for another couple hours, and then if no water is finally coming out of it, then I know that this barrel is ready to go. So then that will be the next step. All right, so I've let the water sit in the barrel for 24 hours. There was no leaks. I poured everything out, just kind of let it dry, and now it is ready to hold the port. Now, I have 2 bottles of port here, and the reason I have 2 bottles, one bottle I'm going to pour in now, and let that sit for 4 weeks. I'm going to dump the port out, then I'm going to pour another bottle in. The reason why I'm doing 2 is to kind of take all of the oak influence from this barrel and have it be absorbed by this port. I kind of want to extract most of all the oak influence that it's going to leave on the whiskey, because I don't really want any more oak influence on the whiskey. You'll still get a little bit, but I think using 2 bottles of port, kind of double seasoning this, has the best results. So I'm going to pour this in. This will sit, as I said, for 4 weeks. Then I'll dump it out and do another bottle for an additional 4 weeks. All right, so there you have it. That's will sit for 4 weeks, and I'll dump it out, and then I'll do this one for an additional 4 weeks. And I'll see you guys in a month. All right, so it's been 2 months. I left off last time where I poured a bottle of port into the cask. I let that sit for 30 days. Then I saved about 250 milliliters of that, threw the rest of it out. Then I did a brand new bottle of port, combined it with the old port to make a full 1 liter to fill this barrel up right to the brim. So that's what I did. Then I let that sit for another 30 days. So it's been 2 full months. And what I have now is a nice seasoned oak barrel. I dumped out all the port that was in there and kind of just rinsed it out with a little bit of water until I didn't see any more port come out. Then I let it dry for about 45 minutes to an hour or so. And now I'm ready to add the Lagavulin. I kept a little bit of port here, my little port sniffer, just to try it out. I'm going to try it right now. Actually pretty good. I'm not picking up a lot of oak, which was what I wanted. I wanted to take a lot of the oak influence out of here. So when I do the Lagavulin, it's not going to be over oaked. So this is ready to go. The spout is closed, which is always important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the first bottle of Lagavulin. I'm going to do 2 bottles with this maturation. I estimate that the first one will probably need about 3 to 4 days in the barrel until it's just picked up a nice little bit of port influence on it. Don't want to do too much, don't want to leave them there for too long. In my experience in the past, it just needs a few days. So once that's in there and nice and good, I'll test it each day just to see, and then I'll do the next bottle after that. Then I'll let both of them sit in the same container and kind of marry together for probably about 7 days or so, and then I'll bottle it, and then we'll be good to go. Got some high hopes for this one. This is really good whiskey, well priced, and like I said before, just ex-bourbon matured stuff. It's going to really pick up the influence of this port really well. That's the plan anyway. All right. I think I'll save myself a little dram pour, a little bit left in the bottom there. So there we go. So all ready now. Put the bung back in the top. All right. So there we go. I'll see you guys in a couple days when this is ready, and I'll show you the color of it. Till then. All right, so it's been 2.5 days with the Lagavulin in the cask. I tried it after 2 days, and it was pretty good. I left it just 12 more hours, and I tried it again, and I thought it was like pretty much where it needed to be. I didn't want it to get over oaked, so the 2.5 days finish is all this one needed. So what I'm going to do, instead of pouring it into where I'm going to do the vatting for the multiple batches, I've kind of switched it up a bit. I'm just going to pour it into a bottle and just let it sit in the bottle while the next batch goes in, just because I didn't want to put it in here and let it oxidize that much while the second batch is maturing. I just think that this is a 1 gallon jug, and I think there's too much air in here to let it sit for like 4 days or however long the next batch takes by itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it into a bottle, let that sit, then do the next maturation, then put everything together into here to marry it together. And I think we're going to have a great whiskey. So what I'm going to do, for this one, you need a funnel and you need a little strainer. This is just going to catch any pieces of debris that are still in the barrel. It was crazy when you see this color. It's absolutely insane. Okay, so I'm going to try to do this without spilling any. Here we go. You can see the color of this. Just from 2.5 days in here, it's picked up all the color. When you talk to people in distilleries, they always say, you know, all the color comes in the first, you know, couple months of maturation. Now, obviously I forgot to use the strainer, but that's okay. I'll strain it again when I put it into here. So if there is any debris in here, I'll strain it out once it goes into the marrying process and before I officially bottle it again. All right, so the spigot's back and closed. So this is ready for the next batch. And I'll have to use my smaller funnel for that. So the next batch is ready to go in. Let me just pour this out so you can just see the color difference, and I'll do a little close-up as well. But you can see the color of that. It's just really cool how much it's changed. And I'll do a comparison with this before I pour it into the barrel. So there's the difference. Pretty substantial. Pretty cool. Let's see if I can get a piece of paper here so you can see it. The camera will pick that up or not. But there it is. So I'm going to do another bottle. And we'll see, maybe I'll do a third bottle. I wasn't really planning on doing a third bottle, but if it's coming out this good and the barrel's got some more juice left into it, I think I might do a third. So we'll see. So 2.5 days for the first fill. Second fill, I'm estimating it'll probably take about 3.5, 4 days. We'll see. My goal is to get the profile the same as this. So I'll mature it long enough until it kind of has the same profile as this one. Then I'll marry it all together in the vatting, and we'll have a batch ready to go. Super excited, guys. Okay, I'm gonna pour the rest of it in. Let me get me. All right, there it is. So I will see you guys in about 3.5 to 4.5 days, and then we'll have enough to do the vatting with. See you then. Hey guys, so the last time I checked in, I was ready to do the second batch into the barrel. So I've done that, and I've put it back with the first batch all together in this vatting. This sat for about 3 days. The batch 2 sat for about the exact same time as the batch 1. I left it in there for 2.5 days. I just tasted it. I thought it was like ready to go. It came out a little bit lighter than the first fill. But I thought with the heaviness of the first fill, just a little bit lighter in the second fill, I thought that both married together would be perfect. I just poured myself just a small little sample here, and this came out really, really well. I'm really happy with it. You just get all the nice like fruit elements that the port kind of added to the whiskey without taking away really anything from the Lagavulin 8-year-old. It just gives it that super nice finish. It's not overpowering, but you get those nice fruit notes. I think it just turned out super well. Yeah, really nice. Just that nice little bit of fruit. You get strawberries, you get raspberry, a little bit of oakiness, but not too much. I think I left it in there for just the perfect amount of time. Didn't want to add too much oak element to it. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty well. So this is ready. I just need to bottle it. So I'm just going to do that. I have these 2 bottles here. These are just 2 bottles I had laying around, the old Lagavulin bottle and this Ron Millionero rum bottle. Let me get the strainer just one more time. I did strain it, like I forgot to the first time. I did strain it the second time, and everything in here has been strained, but I'm just gonna do it one more time just to be sure there's no little particles or whatever from the barrel. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I got the strainer. So got the big funnel. Put the strainer on top. I'm gonna start pouring. Now this is a 1 gallon jug. I think if I did this again, I would try to find something maybe like 3 liters or so, just because there is a lot of air that can get into this. I do kind of like that it oxidized a bit. I think Lagavulin 8-year-old can use some oxidization. I think it oxidizes well. But I think just leaving in this much more than 3 days would just add a little bit too much oxidization to it. So didn't want to add too much, but I think it turned out perfect. So there you go. There's the first fill bottle. And then all you need to do is just get a little label printed up, and then there you go. You got your own custom whiskey that's a one of a kind. All right, so look at that, right to the fill line. So I didn't really lose much whiskey to evaporation, either in the barrel or into the vatting process, because if you look, I didn't fill this one up quite as much, but this Lagavulin bottle is right to here. So maybe from what I tried, you know, maybe I had about 50 milliliters to 100 milliliters. I don't even say that much, maybe 50 milliliters just in samples, trying it periodically throughout the process. But I didn't really lose any whiskey to evaporation, so that's awesome. So yeah, guys, this turned out really well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out all the bottles that I've finished in barrels before and let you know and see everything I've done before. So I'll do that right now. Hey guys, last time I had just bottled the Lagavulin. I decided to go with these 2 bottles just to kind of keep it consistent. So I poured them both into here. This has had about a week or so, just kind of oxidized just a little bit more, kind of settled down in the bottle. And I'm very impressed with the results. Beautiful color on this. I'll just really quickly go through some tasty notes on the nose. So you kind of get all that Lagavulin still. You get that like peatiness, you get the smoke, you get like the brine and the kind of the saltiness. I think what's missing is that like that lemon note. I don't get as much lemon on the nose anymore. But what it's replaced with is this like really nice like cooked down style like raspberry note and strawberry. Very like jammy kind of notes. And kind of like that hickory wood. It's almost like the hickory and the raspberry have kind of like molded together and made this kind of like rusty, kind of like, you know, earthy, almost like raspberry note. It's very like rugged, but nice. All right, let's go palate. It's good. Raspberry, strawberry again. Nice like oakiness. So got like that briny saltiness as well. This like nice like almost like this faint little chocolate and kind of like a fruit cake element too. Almost kind of like an upside down cake. I think it worked out really well. Obviously I'm super biased, but I want to know what you guys think. I'm gonna send out some samples of this. All you gotta do, be subscribed, leave a comment on this video, and you're entered into a chance to win. I'll do a bunch of them, so I'll send out a bunch of samples. The only stipulation is you gotta come back once you get it, try it, let me know, am I full of shit, am I super biased because it's my own stuff, or is it something you actually enjoy? That's kind of a stipulation. Love to know what you guys think about it. Here's some other stuff I've done before. I kind of mentioned in the beginning of this video, so these are the bottles that I've done previously. Lafroig 10-year-old, this one actually turned out really, really well. This I think is my favorite that I've done. It was the first one I've done. It just turned out really well. The Lafroig just kind of took to the port really, really well. I'm gonna do a video with this versus the Cartier Portwood 2013. That was kind of the whole idea behind this. I kind of wanted to make like a poor man's kind of style Lafroig Cartier because I couldn't get a hold of a bottle. I finally did get a hold of a bottle and I tried it head to head and it's pretty eerily similar. So that's gonna be my next review coming out after this one. So look for that. The Bovini 12, this is the 12-year-old single barrel. Didn't quite like the results of this one as much. When it first came out of the barrel, it wasn't good. It needed some time to settle in the bottle, and it did, but just wasn't quite there. The Lecheg 10-year-old also wasn't perfect. A little rough around the edges on this one. The Ardbeg 10 came out really, really well. And this turned out really, really well, in my opinion, too. So yeah, it's kind of a little fun experiment to do. You kind of like, you make a whiskey that's super unique. It's one of a kind of interesting. It's a fun thing to do. Look for the link in the description to where to find these barrels at if you want to try it yourself. I think it's kind of a fun experiment to do. If you try it, let me know. If you've done it before, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Appreciate it as always, guys. Yeah, leave a comment, be subscribed. You get a chance to win a sample of my whiskey. So let me know what you think. I appreciate it as always, guys. Have a good one. Cheers.